Do you think there will be soon a player who will dominate like Magnus did?
I doubt it, to be honest. And for a start, I think it becomes more and more difficult to do it in many ways. I mean, someone like Kasparov would also dominate by having better preparation and better understanding of openings, but that's more or less impossible these days. It goes a bit in waves like that. I mean, well, I think in general chess has been quite spoiled with having these players who stand out. I mean, well, you have a Fischer poster, a Fischer-Spassky poster sort of in the background. And Fischer is the one who was clearly the better, although for a very short period in time. So it's a little bit unreasonable. I mean, if you compare him to Magnus and Kasparov, of course, Fischer, you could argue, would shine even brighter, but he was also allowed to very much choose his time and do it there. I mean, Spassky, it took me a while to realize how strong he actually was. At some point, I had to comment games for a book between Spassky and Larsen, and I was incredibly impressed with Spassky, right? But to say that Spassky was dominant of his generation would also be unreasonable in a way. So, I mean, we had Fischer briefly, and then Kasparov and Magnus, who completely dominated their generations. And it could happen again, I would guess. But I still think the sort of technical developments in our games in terms of preparation and such will make it somewhat more unlikely we will find someone who is that dominant. But most predictions tend to end up sounding rather stupid later. So generally, I will try to be cautious there.
Mm-hmm. So the neural networks have been the great equalizer, so to say.
To a certain extent. I mean, well, it's always been the case. But, I mean, well, when I started working with Magnus, it felt like you had access to a mind with superior understanding of chess than everything else. I mean, well, sure, you could ask Stockfish or whatever, Ripka, who was the strongest engine, but they would especially be very strong tactically, and of course, good strategically, but sometimes you would feel Magnus would sense it better. Perhaps he still does, and maybe he doesn't feel the need to share his every thought with his second. That would be quite reasonable. But neural networks has become so strong positionally and strategically that we are not used to before.